Cantos 25 to 27 of Book 3 of the Ramayan of Valmiki, translated by Ralph T.H. Griffith. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Om123. Canto 25. The Battle. When Khara with the hosts he led drew near to Rama's leafy shed, he saw that queller of the foe stand ready with his ordered bow. He saw, and burning at the view, his clanging bow he raised and drew, and bade his driver urge apace his car to meet him face to face. Obedient to his master's haste, his eager steeds the driver pressed on to the spot where, none to aid, the strong-armed chief his weapon swayed. Soon as the children of the night saw Khara rushing to the fight, his lords with loud unearthly cry followed their chief and gathered nigh. As in his car the leader rode, with all his lords around, he showed like the red planet fiery Mars, surrounded by the lesser stars. Then with a horrid yell that rent the air, the giant chieftain sent 1,000 darts in rapid shower on Rama, matchless in his power. The rovers of the night, impelled by fiery rage which naught withheld, upon the unconquered prince who strained his fearful bow, their arrows rained. With sword and club, with mace and pike, with spear and axe, to pierce and strike those furious fiends on every side, the unconquerable hero plied. The giant legions, huge and strong, like clouds the tempest drives along, rushed upon Rama with the speed of whirling car and mounted steed, and hill like elephant to slay the matchless prince in battle fray. Then upon Rama, thick and fast, the rain of mortal steel they cast, as labouring clouds their torrent shed upon the mountain monarch's head. As near and nearer round him drew the warriors of the giant crew, he showed like Siva, god by all his spirits when night's shadows fall. As the great deep receives its rill, and river rushing from the hill, he bore that flood of darts and broke with well-aimed shaft its murderous stroke. By stress of arrowy storm assailed, and wounded sore, he never failed, like some high mountain which defies the red balls flashing from the skies. With ruddy streams each limb was dyed, from gaping wounds in breast and side, showing the hero like the sun mid crimson clouds ere day is done. Then at the sight of terror faint grew god, Gandharva, sage and saint, trembling to see the prince oppose his single might to myriad foes. But waxing wroth, with force unspent, he strained his bow to utmost bend, and fought his arrows keen and true, in hundreds, yea, in thousands flew. Shafts none could ward, and none endure, death's fatal noose was cast so sure. As it were in playful ease he sought his gilded shafts, and rested not. With swiftest flight and truest aim, upon the giant hosts they came. Each smote, each stayed a foeman's breath, as fatal as the coil of death. Each arrow through a giant tore a passage, and besmeared with gore, pursued its onward way, and through the air with flamy brilliance flew. Unnumbered were the arrows sent from the great bow which Rama bent, and every shaft with iron head the lifeblood of a giant shed. Their pennant bows were cleft, nor mail, nor shield of hide could aught avail, for Rama's myriad arrows tore through arms and bracelets which they wore, and severed mighty warriors' thighs like trunks of elephants in size, and cut resistless passes sheer through gold-decked horse and charioteer, slew elephant and rider, slew the horseman and the charger too, and infantry unnumbered sent to dwell beneath Yama's government, Then rose on high a fearful yell of rovers of the night who fell beneath that iron torrent sore, wounded by shafts that rent and tore. So mangled by the ceaseless storm of shafts of every kind and form, such joy they found as forests feel when scorched by flame from Rama's steel. The mightiest still the fight maintained, and furious upon Rama rained dart, arrow, spear, with wild attacks of mace and club and battle axe. But the great chief, unconquered yet, their weapons with his arrows met, which severed many a giant's head, and all the plain with corpses spread. With sundered bow and shattered shield, headless they sank upon the field. As the tall trees that felt the blast of Garu's wing to earth were cast, the giants left unslaughtered there were filled with terror and despair, and to their leader Kara fled, faint, wounded, and discomfited. These fiery Dushan strove to cheer, and poised his bow to calm their fear. Then fierce as he who rules the dead, when wrath on angered Rama sped. By Dushan cheered, the demons cast their dread aside and rallied fast. With salts, rocks, palm trees in their hands, with nooses, maces, pikes, and brands, again upon the godlike man the mighty fiends infuriate ran. These casting rocks like hail, and these a whelming shower of leafy trays. Wild wondrous fight the eye to scare, and raise on end each shuddering hair. As with the fiends who loved to rove, by night heroic Rama strove. The giants in their fury plied Rama with darts on every side. Then by the gathering demons pressed, from north and south and east and west, by showers of deadly darts assailed, from every quarter fiercely hailed. Caught by the foes who swarmed around, he raised a mighty shout, whose sound struck terror on the giant crew. His great Gandharva arrow flew. 1,000 mortal shafts were rained from the orbed bow the heroes trained, till east and west and south and north were filled with arrows volleyed forth. They heard the fearful shout, they saw his mighty hand the bowstring draw. Yet could no wounded giant's eye see the swift storm of arrows fly. Still firm the warrior stood and cast his deadly missiles thick and fast. Dark grew the air with arrowy hail, which hid the sun as with a veil. Fiends wounded, falling, fallen, slain, all in a moment spread the plain, and 1,000 scars alive were left, mangled and gashed, and torn and cleft. Dire was the sight, the plain overspread with trophies of the mangled dead. There lay, by Rama's missiles rent, full many a priceless ornament, with severed limb and broken gem, hauberk and helm and diadem. There lay the shattered car, the steed, the elephant of noblest breed, the splintered spear, the shivered mace, chowries and screens to shade the face. The giants saw with bitterest pain their warriors weltering on the plain, nor dared again his might oppose, who scours the cities of his foes. Canto 26. Dushan's Death. When Dusan saw his giant band slaughtered by Rama's conquering hand, he called 5,000 fiends and gave his orders, bravest of the brave, invincible of furious might. Never had they turned their backs in flight. They, as their leader, bade them seize spears, swords, and clubs, and rocks and trees, poured on the dauntless prince again a ceaseless shower of deadly rain. The virtuous Rama, undismayed, their missiles with his arrows stayed, and wakened ere it fell the shock of that dire hail of tree and rock, and like a bull with eyelids closed the pelting of the storm opposed. Then blazed desire, he longed to smite to art the rovers of the night. The wrath that over his spirit came clothed him with splendor as of flame. While showers of mortal darts he poured, fierce on the giants and their lord, Dushan, the foeman's dusky dread, by frenzied rays inspirited, on Raghu's son his missiles cast, like Indra's bolts which rend and blast. But Rama with a transient dart cleft Dushan's ponderous bow apart, and then the gold-decked steeds who drew the chariot with 4 shafts he slew. One crescent dart he aimed, which shred clean from his neck the driver's head. 3 more with deadly skill addressed stood quivering in the giant's breast. Hurled from his car, steeds, driver slain, the bow he trusted cleft in twain. He seized his mace, strong, heavy, tread, high as a mountain's towering head. With plates of gold adorned and bound, embattled gods it crushed and ground. Its iron spikes yet bore the stains of mangled foemen's blood and brains. Its heavy mass of jagged steel was like a thunderbolt to feel. It shattered as on foes it fell, the city where the senses dwell. Fierce Dushan seized that ponderous mace, like monstrous form of serpent race, and all his savage soul aglow with fury rushed upon the foe. But Raghu's son took steady aim, and as the rushing giant came, shore with 2 shafts the arms whereon the demon's glittering bracelets shone. His arm at each huge shoulder lopped, the mighty body reeled and dropped, and the great mace to earth was thrown, like Indra's staff when storms have blown. As some vast elephant who lies shorn of his tusk and bleeding dies, so when his arms were rent away, low on the ground the giant lay. The spirits saw the monster die, and loudly rang their joyful cry, "Honour to Rama nobly done! Well hast thou fought, Kakutsta's son!" But the great tree, the host who led, and raised to see their chieftain dead, as though death's toils were round them cast, rushed upon Rama fierce and fast. Mahakalpa ceased to strike his foeman down, a ponderous pike. Stutalaksha charged with spear to fling, Pramati with his axe to swing, when Rama saw, with keen darts he received the onset of the tree. As calm as though he hailed a guest, in each who came for shade and rest, Mahakalpa's monstrous head fell with the transient dart he spade. His good right hand in battle skilled, Stutalaksha's eyes with arrows filled, and trusting still his ready bow, he laid the fierce Pramati low, who sank as some tall tree falls down, with bow and branch and leafy crown. Then with 5,000 shafts he slew the rest of Dushan's giant crew. 5,000 demons torn and rent to Yama's gloomy realm he sent. When Kara knew the fate of all, the giant band and Dushan's fall, he called the mighty chiefs who led his army and in fury said, "Now Dushan and his armed train lie prostrate on the battle plain. Lead forth an army mightier still, Rama this wretched man to kill. Fight ye with darts of every shape, nor let him from your wrath escape." Thus spoke the fiend, by rays impelled, and straight his course toward Rama held. With Snehagami and the rest of his 12 chiefs he onward pressed, and every giant as he went a storm of well-wrought arrows sent. Then with his pointed shafts that came with gold and diamond bright as flame, dead to the earth the hero threw the remnant of the demon crew. Those shafts with feathers bright as gold, like flames which wreaths of smoke unfold, smote down the fiends like tall trees rent by red balls from the firmament. 100 shafts he pointed well, by their keen barbs 100 fell. 1,000 and 1,000 more in battle's front lay drenched in gore. Of all defence and guard bereft, with sundered bows and harness cleft, their bodies red with bloody stain, fell the night rovers on the plain, which, covered with the loosened hair of bleeding giants prostrate there, like some great altar showed, arrayed for holy rites with grass overlaid. The dark Samud, each glade and dell, where the wild demons fought and fell, was like an awful hell whose floor is thick with mire and flesh and gore. Thus twice 7,000 fiends, a band, with impious heart and bloody hand, by Raghu's son were overthrown, a man on foot, and all alone. Of all who met on that fierce day, Khara, great chief, survived the fray. The monster of the triple head, and Raghu's son, the foeman's dread. The other demon warriors, all, skilful and brave and strong and tall, in front of battle, side by side, struck down by Lakshman's brother, died. When Khara saw the host he led, triumphant forth to fight, stretched on the earth, all smitten dead, by Rama's nobler might, upon his foe he fiercely glared, and drove against him fast, like Indra when his arm is bared, his thundering bolt to cast. Canto 27. The Death of Trisiras. But Trisiras, a chieftain dread, marked Khara as he onward sped, and met his car and cried to stay the giant from the purposed fray. Mine be the charge, let me attack, and turn thee from the contest back. Let me go forth, and thou shalt see the strong-armed Rama slain by me. True are the words I speak, my lord, I swear it as I touch my sword, that I this Rama's blood will spill, whom every giant's hand should kill. This Rama will I slay, or he in battle fray shall conquer me. Restrain thy spirit, check thy car, and view the combat from afar. Thou joying over the prostrate foe, to Janastan again shalt go. Or if I fall in battle's chance, against my conqueror advance. Thus Trisiras for death who yearned, and Khara from the conflict turned. Go forth to battle, Khara cried, and toward his foe the giant hied. Borne on a car of glittering hue, which harnessed coursers fleetly drew. Like some huge hill with triple peak, he onward rushed the prince to seek. Still like a big cloud, sending out his airy rain with many a shout, like the deep sullen roars that come discordant from a moistened drum. But Raghu's son, whose watchful eye beheld the demon rushing nigh, from the great bow he raised and bent, a shower of shafts to meet him sent. Wild grew the fight, and wilder yet, as fiend and man in combat met, as when in some dark woods retreat an elephant and a lion meet. The giant bent his bow, and true to Rama's brow 3 arrows flew. Then, raising as he felt the stroke, these words in anger Rama spoke: Heroic chief, is such the power of fiends who rove at midnight hour? Soft as the touch of flowers I feel the gentle blows thine arrows deal. Receive in turn my shafts, and know what arrows fly from Rama's bow. Thus as he spoke, his wrath grew hot, and twice 7 deadly shafts he shot, which, dire as serpent's deadly fang, straight to the giant's bosom sprang. 4 arrows more, each shape to deal a mortal wound with barbed steel, the glorious hero shot and slew the 4 good steeds the car that drew. 8 other shafts flew straight and fleet, and hauled the driver from his seat, and in the dust the banner laid that proudly over the chariot played. Then as the fiend prepared to bound forth from his useless car to ground, the hero smote him to the heart, and numbed his arm with deadly smart. Again the chieftain, peerless souled, sent forth 3 rapid darts, and rolled, with each keen arrow deftly sped, low in the dust a monstrous head. Then, yielding to each deadly stroke, forth spouting streams of blood and smoke, the headless trunk, betrounced with gore, fell to the ground and moved no more. The fiends who yet were left with life, rooted and crushed in battle strife, to Khara's side, like trembling deer, scared by the hunter, fled in fear. King Khara saw with furious eye his scattered giants turn and fly. Then rallying his broken train, at Raghu's son he drove amain. Like Rahu when his deadly might comes rushing on the Lord of Night. End of Cantos 25, 26 and 27.